Hey y'all, Bridget Chandler here from Athens State University. Welcome to our first day of spring 2018. This overview and this video is for CE 540, which is Organization and Coordination of Career and Technical Education. So I thought that it would be best to welcome you all with a video and with a few, just an overview about the course and then a few directions for this week, just so you'll get a feel for where we are. Remember, this course is one of the 5 core required courses for the master's program in Career and Technical Education. And it is the overview and the coordination of career and technical education, but again, it is designed with a very broad scope to best accommodate those of you who are in all types of different program areas. I have explained in another video that I made for another class, and so just if you're in that class, just hold with me and listen again for just a moment of my interpretation or my perspective on career and technical education. We can look at it in a very narrow scope, in a narrow view of the traditional technical education training. But if we think about career and technical education in a more broader sense, as I must do for these courses in order to help design the courses to best meet the needs of you all who are in so many different areas, if you think about career and technical education in that way, you would see that any area of study, if the end goal is to lead to employment or advance in employment or an increase in rank in your employment, then it's hard for me to think of any particular area that is not career and technical education. In our culture, in our society, that is the kind of the overall general purpose of educating our children, is not just for the sake of education, but to prepare them for adulthood and for employment. So if we look at it under that context, I think you will see that it's really hard to come up with any particular area that doesn't fall under that umbrella. So it's not looking at specific career and technical programs, but more in a larger sense. But for this particular class, we are going to be talking about specifics dealing with career and technical education and workforce development, workforce training. So just to go over the course, with the course description, this course is designed to provide career and technical professionals a framework to increase their knowledge and understanding of theoretical and practical information specific to organizing and administering career and technical education programs. The course will emphasize a number of management topics, including budget development and management, program design, and program evaluation. And even with that being the focus of the course, it will still be broad and general in the sense that hopefully you will see how at some point in time, be it your training to be in the position you're in, how it may have fallen into some of this information, or how you could see, just to have an understanding, even if you don't work directly in workforce development or career and technical education, hopefully you will get a better understanding of what that is. So I'm looking forward to this class. We're going to be doing things in here. Our learning outcomes are to assess the foundations and scope of workforce education and career and technical education, to compare and contrast secondary, post-secondary, adult ed, workforce training programs, to analyze strategic planning, to better understand the financial management process, like how are these programs funded, and how personnel management occurs, like where do we find folks to teach these skills in so many different areas, and how are they recruited and selected and supervised and developed. Also, we'll talk just a little bit about facilities and resource needs for different career and technical education programs, and how all of that comes into effect with managing programs and evaluating programs. So the course is divided into modules for you. There are 7 modules for this particular course, and it starts with the first module of structure, just the overall structure from the national, state, and local levels, the legislation that kind of directs how we go about organizing the programs, and then we will look at adult ed, post-secondary, secondary career and technical education, workforce development, community education, and then specific training. The second module is Pathways and Programs. And again, this kind of loops back around. You will see some overlap in the modules, but Pathways and Programs we look at from a national, state, regional, and then workforce level. The third module is Strategic Planning. And this includes involving advisory councils, business and industry, and the types of surveys and the types of information gathering, again, at the national, state, regional, and local levels. The fourth module is on implementation. And here is where we'll go into a little bit more of, we have, in the first module, gone over kind of legislation, but then when we actually implement a program, what grants and funding are used for the program, what reports are required, the idea of consortia and what that may or may not look like in each different area. Other requirements in these career and technical education, things like the follow-up, the documentation, the recruitment, how school systems organize and share resources along with consortiums, and then workforce regions, so how our regions within each state, how the workforce development regions will affect what goes on in the programs. Okay, and then the fifth module is on partnerships. So again, there's some overlap because we talked in the fourth module, we'll talk about workforce, the regions, and then the consortia. And so then we're going to talk about partnerships and back to even the advisory councils and the business and industry and how we can work through partnerships to do continued training and post-certificate training programs in those types of areas. Finally, we have our sixth module, which is on professional organizations, and that's again at the national, state, and local levels. And these include for instructors and for other stakeholders in career and technical education, and then also student organizations. And then the very last module is on research and publication. So again, all of this is intended to be kind of a broad look with lots of topics and lots of areas, and we will not, obviously we won't have time to go as deep into each area, but just to give you all a very broad look at what this looks like and how these programs are organized, and then how they are coordinated from the different, from like the national, state, and local levels. So hopefully you will find all of this information to be beneficial, if nothing else for the knowledge bank, so that you will have a better understanding of how the training programs work. So for this particular week that we're in, week 1, this is still drop add week. So today being the first day of class, we will have folks who will be changing their schedules and hopefully adding the class and coming in and joining us. So no major assignments will be due this week. Again, you will follow a module format. This video is in your start here. You will have your attendance verification activity that you'll participate in, which is your introduction in Blackboard discussion. So you'll go into the discussion area and introduce yourself and respond to the first discussion forum, and that's your attendance verification. So after you watch this video and you review your syllabus, please go ahead and introduce yourself and respond to that first forum. And then I have one request. Well, I'll probably end up having lots of requests, but for this week, my one request is that you will busy yourselves with that while I am getting all of the information loaded into 3 sections instead of just one. Thank goodness we have lots of folks enrolled in this class, so instead of just having one section, I'm actually teaching 3 sections of the same class. So those of you who teach, and you're like, you know what I'm talking about, if you're teaching the same class, sometimes for me, it can be a little bit hard for me to keep up with what I put in each place. So while I'm getting all of the folders situated, as I said, please just take this week to complete the introductory activity for attendance verification, read the syllabus, and then your assignments and your modules will start the following Monday when drop add is over. All right, if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to call or email me. I'm looking forward to a wonderful semester, and welcome back.